We're going to take a look today on how to farm a subdivision, or what I mean by that is how to get a list of investors, homeowners, and renters, all from that same area. I'm going to show you how to do it using the MLS I have at LIRA, or San Antonio Board of Realtors in San Antonio area, which also covers all the way through Four Rivers, Houston, Austin, a big area we can cover. Now, because I also have this MLS, which I recommend if you're anywhere in the South Texas to pay for it, even though it's 150 extra every couple months, whatever, it's worth it. And I'll show you some of the tools we have that makes it why it's worth it. One of those is a way you can search pretty much every county almost in all of South Texas and pull these mailing lists. So even if you have a different MLS in that area or that county, you can use this to pull it. Again, my name is Andrew. I'm a real estate trainer for many years. Love to help people out. Look forward to having you join our channel. If you haven't liked or subscribed, please do so you can be notified of any upcoming videos. We can have you join and do what we can do to help you out. See what we can do. If you have any ideas, please comment, share anything going on. We're here to make it work. Now, the main thing you want to do if you're in this MLS, I'm going to go to the top, hit Tools. If you don't see it, hit More. I have my screen minimized enough where I'm going to hit Tools. And we're going to Courthouse Retrieval Program, CRS, or Courthouse Retrieval Service. Now, as you can see, there's all these counties. It might not be everyone in Texas, but it has most of all South Texas, tons of counties. So I'm just going to stay in Bexar County, close to the area where I live. And then I'm going to pick a subdivision that I know they have a lot of different people because it's by a military base. So here you can put in an address, you can put in a subdivision. I'm going to do Northeast Crossing. And as you can see it, when you put it in at the bottom, it pops up. So I'm going to click Northeast Crossing to open up that subdivision. And then once you open it, it's just going to show a bunch of houses. I don't care which house I pick. I'm just going to pick a random one and have it open in Northeast Crossing. So I have this random house. So now I have a home in Northeast Crossing. The whole reason was to get here and to kind of see, okay, I don't care who owns it. I don't care, this is Tricon American Homes LLC, so this is probably a rental home. I don't care. I just want to get in here and get it in and get it owned. Now, the first thing I want to check to see if it's even a good option for me is I'm going to go to Facts and Figures and go down here to Subdivision Info. What this does when you click on it, it brings up the subdivision and kind of gives you an idea of the overall quality of that subdivision. So they're saying right here, the average median price, as you can see, is about $250, which is great for first-time home buyers. This is a first-time home buyer type thing. And right here, there's about 1,500 homes in that subdivision, which I love. Ton of homes. And there's an average turnaround about 7 years, 7.3 years. So that some people do move in and out every 3 to 4 years. Some people stay longer when they're settled in here. So this gives me a good diversity of people in that area. So now I know this is a good subdivision to farm. And I use Courthouse Retrieval. I love this section because it gives me a lot of data. Now, if I want to go one step farther, I go to Facts and Figures and I go down to Demographics. And then when I go to Demographics, it shows me based on this subdivision, I can see what people are looking at here. So a lot of people are either in the 50 to 75,000 range or the 100,000 plus. So either it's in younger families or retired military. I just know that subdivision. And you can see most people have a high school diploma right in here, or they have some college degrees. So it's the younger families and a little bit more older, more mature families. There's both kind of settled up in here. So it's a great subdivision to kind of pick. So the way you start your search is you go to prospecting, and then when it loads up, I'm in that big subdivision. Now I can increase it and try to get the whole thing, but I want to just see what I have so I don't overdo my my search. So it can only show 5,500 homes at a time. So I don't want to do too many, or I'm going to overdo my search and not be able to make it. So I'm going to go here and hit Draw. I like to do the freehand, or you could do any other one. Make it simple. This just makes a pencil. And I'm just going to draw with the mouse. And I circle in here, and then I include that selection. Once I do that, you see in this part of the subdivision, I have 297 homes, which is a great way to start. So almost 300 homes. Now, I don't want all of these, and I want to be able to go back and forth and see what I have. So on the left-hand side, I'm going to click on MLS listing, and I'm going to remove all active listings. Okay, so again, I went to MLS listings, removed all active listings, updated it. Good to go. I'm going to go down now to recent sales because for this part of the list, I want to get sellers who I could potentially get list their homes. I'm going to remove everything in the last 18 months that is sold. So this is a good one. So now I have 266 homes. I recommend each time you do it, you want to pick like 250. Now, if I wanted the whole big subdivision, I could have drawn everywhere around this main road and have this huge part of the subdivision. Or I could even, this is really the subdivision if I wanted to get wild. I could get the whole big section, whatever I want. I'm just keeping it simple so it's easy to do for the video and to walk through it. So I want this first part I'm doing is people who own their home. So I'm going to go right here to owner type and go owner occupied and update. So there's 129 people in this circle that I circled who own their home, who are owner occupied. So what I can do here is I can just export, and now I have a 129 people to send letters to, or I can do create labels and make sure it's property address or owner address. They should be the same. It doesn't matter. And I can print these directly from my computer to fit Avery 5160 labels, whatever you want to call them. They're simple labels. And you can do that simply and load them up that way and have it set to go. So now I have my first list of owners. Now I'm going to take off the recent sales. I'm going to go back to owner type, remove the owner, and go to absentee in-state, absentee out-of-state. So these are people, 156, that own the home but don't live there, which is very interesting that there's that many in that subdivision. You can see a lot. This whole section of this subdivision, almost sadly, is totally owned by investors or people who live there. They might have been not only investors, but, well, I know why. This is a rental community. That's why it's doing that. So anyway, I'm not going to worry about that right now. So I might want to, if I was doing it, I just know that area and I know that these roads, I remember which ones they are now. Those are rental companies. That's why it's giving us that weird number. But this is the same thing. If I was going to go to owner type and do absentee in-state, absentee out-of-state, I would expand over here my whole section and do a better list. But pretend these are not a rental company. And that's how we know, because you can see every home in that area is owned by absentee in-state. So these are renters. So for this list, I don't want any of the rentals. I might go here to freehand, and I might just draw this area and include that selection. And then when I pull this one up, I could delete the other one, et cetera, et cetera. And then I could try to play it. So I'm just kind of doing whatever I can do to make it happy. And we can make it work. Now, if I undid this one and undid that one, it doesn't have anybody. It's just loading up again real quick for me. And if you do it like that, you can see that it does jump things around a little bit. Okay, so now that we're back in here, let me let it scroll in a little bit. I'm just going to play with this one section here and not the rental section. I'm going to do freehand, draw that section again, because I don't care about the rental section. Okay, so now, well, that's not large enough for 60. So I'm going to pull the whole area now. Okay, so instead of doing like that one, I didn't like that area, so I'm just going to draw here my freehand again, and I'm just going to pick the other part of the subdivision that I want to work. And it will give me a lot as well. Okay, so now I have 650. Now we're working. We're making it work. Okay, so again, these are owner type. These are absentee in-state, absentee out-of-state, who hasn't, I don't care if they sold or not. So these are 650 homes that are either investors, which is if I go here to show labels, the owner address are the investors, and the property address is renters, because there's absentee in-state and absentee out-of-state. So now I have, as you can go to the top, see if I go to owner, there's 463 people who are owners that don't live there. And if I go to the property, there's 549 that go there, because some overlap and you go one or the other. And so now I have a great list of people I can reach out to, investors, see if they want to sell their home and tap into their equity, or even talk about, doing a home equity cash out refi so they can buy other properties and I can help them do that. Anything like that I wanted to do. Or I could kick over and do something else and go to the property address instead of the owners and send it for people who are renting. So that's a really good way to get a list of renters or investors. Now, again, if I go to property type and go back to owner occupied and update. See, there's 2,123 now in that big section. So now I know these are owners who live there. And now I'm going to do recent sales, remove those out of there. And you can see now I have 1,608 people who haven't bought haven't bought their home in the last month and a half. Now, if I wanted to be even more specific, I could go to last sales date and I could pick like, I don't know, like today, and then I could make it to us the last 2 years. And then it would totally change it. And I could just, whatever I want to do. It doesn't matter. You could tweak this, whatever you want. I like to just do recent sales, turn that off, because after a year and a half, they should have some equity. Started anyway. Not a lot, but they'll have some. Now I have 1,608 letters. So again, I have owners, renters, and investors all from this list that I can play. And then you just put together your letters, whatever. Now, if you're in RPR, we're going to do the same thing. I just opened RPR. I'm going to type in Northeast Crossing. And there it is. It's going to pop up right here, Northeast Crossing in San Antonio. Once it loads up, it's showing me a whole bunch of different homes and everything else. I'm going to go to the top and click More Filters. Now, I want public records, not homes for sale or lease. And like you see right here, 1564, like we saw before, that's how many. I want single family. There's not really a lot of condos or anything in there. So I'm just going to do single family. I'm not going to worry about any of this, bed, bath, distress, anything like that. Just make sure you're on public record. I'm going to go down, and now here are my two options again, owner occupied or absentee owner. I want everything. If I do owner occupied, I want everything in this time frame, and then I'm going to hit update and search. So now I have 500 properties of 824. So there's 824 that have owned their home at least 5 years or more. And then depending what I want to do, I can do a map search to look at them, see that they are. I can also do the same thing. I can hit mailing labels and it'll make it ready to just print. And because these are owners, I want to go to the property address and the owner's name. And then I can do remember, these are only owner occupied, which is 817, ready to go right now. And then I can just hit print. It'll print it, print my labels, ready to go. We're done. The thing you need to remember, which is different than courthouse retrieval system, is here you can only do 2,000 a month. In courthouse, you have unlimited you can do. So keep that in mind when you do this. I mean, 2,000 is a lot. So just keep that in mind, though. I'm going to close this. So the next thing I could do, if I'm back in my filters, if I don't want owner occupied, I want absentee owner, and I want all those, because if you do absentee owner, you'll get a little bit more, 248. But these are renters and investors. So I'm going to go here again to mailing labels. And then if it's the property address, which I'm going to say current resident, it is going to be an investor. Sorry, property address is a renter. See, I still confuse myself. Property address is a renter. If it's a tax billing, you do owner's name. This is the investor. Okay, so again, absentee owner. Right here, property. You go to current resident because that's not the person who lives there as an owner. And that is the current resident. Tax billing is the owner name, which is the investor. And then you just hit print. Easy two ways. Both of these very simple, very easy. You can pick the same area, the same subdivision, farm it. I just got 3 really good lists out of both sections. And it shows you how to kind of get a good mailing list and how to farm a subdivision. And then you can, of course, do letters, do postcards. There's a whole bunch of different ways you can do that. We'll do that in another video where we talk about the ways once you have your list, what are some things you can do to dominate your subdivision.